Modeling of the information system for processing of large distilled data of the investigation of enterprises. Abstract. The technology of data analysis is offered for finding competitiveness of the enterprises. To determine the competitiveness of enterprises, a methodology based on the theory of effective competition is used. This method is proposed by economists Joseph Schumpeter and Friedrich Hayek. According to this theory, the most competitive enterprises are those where there is the best organized work of all units and services as a system. Introduction. In order for the company to grow up, it is necessary to watch after its position on the world stage. For this, it is necessary to regularly evaluate its competitiveness. By doing this, the owner of the enterprise has the opportunity to assess the strengths and weaknesses of the enterprise, to identify its hidden potential, and accordingly to maximize its working strategy. For this analysis, Microsoft Excel spreadsheet is suited for a convenient and understandable graphical user interface. Setting the task. Look through the methods and principles of working with cumbersome data in Microsoft Office Excel 2013 table processor. Take a look at the capabilities of the Microsoft Office Excel Power Pivot add-in for analyzing and modeling data that is presented in text files. Become familiar with the concept of OLAP-cube in Excel 2007 spreadsheet. Analyze TEC technology to determine the competitiveness of the enterprise. Make a summary analysis of the efficiency of using the Microsoft Office Excel 2013 table processor. Sum up the comparative competitiveness of the enterprise data. Review of the literature. The work of foreign scientists will help you choose the environment to create OLAP-cube that will help you calculate the necessary data. The chosen theme was based on the research of the competitiveness of enterprises. The following works help to get acquainted with this subject. In these works, attention is focused on the competitiveness of enterprises in general and individual factors also. After analyzing, it was found that there is no single specific and common methodology and technology for calculating the competitiveness of enterprises. Therefore, working with a detailed description of the development of OLAP-cube for determining the competitiveness of enterprises is relevant. The methods of solving. The basic principle of OLAP is the multidimensional representation of the data. Some measurements are made highlighting the factors that influence the activity of multidimensional model, and receive a hypercube which is filled with performance indicators. Data can be real or predicted based on data accumulated over time. Indicators can be controlled from different sources, cleared, merged, and compiled into a real repository. Moreover, they are available for analysis. In 1993, Edgar Code has formulated OLAP criteria. He defined 12 rules that the OLAP class software product should meet. First, multidimensional conceptual view. Analysts should be able to perform such operations as longitudinal and longitudinal analysis, rotation, and replacement of data. Second, transparency. Third, accessibility. OLAP must perform all the transformations that are necessary to provide a holistic view of the user to the information. Fourth, sustainable performance. Consistent reporting performance. Fifth, client-server architecture. Sixth, generic dimensionality. Base data structure. Report formats should not be based on one dimension. Seventh, dynamic sparse matrix holding. Eighth, multi-user support. Ninth, unrestricted cross-dimensional operations. Work with data from any number of measurements cannot be prohibited. 10th, intuitive data manipulation. Manipulations inherent in the structure of the hierarchy must be executed in a convenient interface. 11th. Flexible reporting. 12th. An unlimited number of measurements and levels of aggregation, e.g. dimensions and aggregation levels. Subsequently, these requirements were transformed into the FASMI test. This test also defined the requirements for OLAP products. The decipherment of this abbreviation is fast. On average, access to data should take about 5 seconds. Analysis. The user should be given the opportunity to perform a static and numerical analysis. Shared. Access is divided. Ability to work for multiple users at the same time. Multidimensional. Hierarchy support. Multidimensional conceptual representation of data. Information. The user should be able to receive the necessary information in whatever electronic storage it was located. Intelligent data analysis allows you to automatically generate hypotheses based on a large amount of accumulated data, which can be verified by other analysis tools. OLAP provides a flexible view of the information, obtaining an arbitrary cut of data and performing analytical operation of detail, convolution, through distribution, comparison, and the document circulation of communicative structures in time. Our goal is to find the most competitive company with the OLAP-cube. For this example, determining the company's competitiveness, we'll use a method based on TEC. According to this technology, the most competitive enterprises have the best organized work of all units and services as a system. There are many factors that affect the performance of each service. Evaluating the effectiveness of each unit involves assessing the effectiveness of the use of resources provided to them. The method defines the main economic indicators, which are divided into 4 groups. Indicators of the economic efficiency of activity, indicators of the financial position of products, indicators of sales of products, product quality indicators. As indicators of the fourth group characterize the ability of the enterprise to meet the needs of consumers in accordance with its purpose, we do not take it into account because our enterprises produce products of various purposes. Consequently, KCO equals 0.15 EO plus 0.29 FP plus 0.23 EZ, where KCO is the coefficient of competitiveness of the organization, EO is the value of the criterion of the effectiveness of the organization production activities, AF is the value of the criterion of the financial position of the organization, EZ is the value of criterion of the effectiveness of the organization of sales and promotion of goods. All of the criteria are calculated as follows. EO equals 0.31V plus 0.19F plus 0.4 pm plus 0.1 pp, where V is a relative indicator of production costs per unit of output, which reflects the cost effectiveness of production. F is the relative indicator of return on capital, characterizing the efficiency of the use of fixed assets. Pn is a relative indicator of profitability of a product, characterizing the degree of profitability of products. PP is a relative indicator of labor productivity, reflects the degree of organization of production and use of labor. V equals gross expenses divided by the volume of product development. F equals production volume divided by the cost of the main productive assets. Pn equals profit from sales multiplied by 100 divided by the full cost of production. PP equals production volume divided by the average annual number of employees. Fp equals 0.29 Ka plus 0.2 Kp plus 0.15 Ko, where Ka is a relative indicator of the autonomy of the organization, characterizes the enterprise's independence from external sources of financing. Kp is a relative indicator of solvency of the organization, reflects the ability of the enterprise to fulfill its financial obligations and determines the probability of bankruptcy. KO is a relative indicator of turnover of working capital, analyzes the efficiency of the use of working capital. KA equals own funds divided by the total amount of funding sources. KP equals equity divided by the general obligations. KO equals the revenue from sales divided by the average annual balance of working capital. EZ equals 0.37 Rp plus 0.29 Kz plus 0.2 Km plus 0.14 Kp, where Rp is a relative indicator of profitability of sales. Characterizes profitability of the enterprise on the market, correctness of the price setting. Kz is a relative indicator for foraging in finished products, reflects the degree of foraging in finished products. An increase in the indicator indicates a fall in demand. Km is a relative indicator of the loading of production capacity, shows the business activity of the enterprise and the efficiency of sales service. Rp equals profit from sales multiplied by 100 divided by sales volume. Kz equals volume of unrealized products divided by sales volume. Km equals volume of production divided by production capacity. Experiments. The research is carried out for the enterprises of three branches, the products of which are in the greatest demand abroad. First, honey products. Bartnik LLC is a limited liability company based in Izyaslav, Khmelnytsky region. Agro East Trade LLC is a limited liability company based in the city of Mykolaiv. Ukrainian Honey Company, a Donetsk company of the selection, purchase and sale of honey products located in the city of Volnovakha. Second, butter, dairy products. PJSC VMZ Roshen, public joint stock company is located in Vinnytsia. LLC Radiliv Moloko, a limited liability company located in Krupets, Rivne region. PE Almavita, a private enterprise in village Zolotniki, Ternopil region. Third, sugar. PC Podilya, a food company that is located in the village Kryzhopil, Vinnytsia region. LCC Novorozhitsky Sugar Factory is a limited liability company is located in the village Novorozhitsk, Poltava region. OJSC Radekhiv Sugar Refinery, open joint stock company of the village of Pavlov, Lviv region. These experiments are presented in the form of test files with information about the work of the enterprise, data on production, and data on the export of goods. These files contain information separated by dates, business days of enterprises. Data from files is downloaded using Power Pivot, a data modeling technology that allows you to create data models, establish relationships, and add computing. Also, text files are downloaded with a list of general information of all enterprises and the date, the time period of which the research will be conducted. Figure 1. An example of downloading and displaying data using Power Pivot. After downloading all the data, the links between tables are established. To do this, the data is displayed in the form of diagrams. Start. Presentation in the form of a diagram. The corresponding date fields of the business tables and the date table are merged. The table of substitution will be the date table. This connection will serve as a breakdown of time data in the OLAP-cube. Also, the connection of the corresponding fields enterprise code of the business tables and the enterprise table is created. The table of substitution will be the enterprise table. This connection collects information by displaying the product categories in OLAP-cubes. Another important link is the connection of the corresponding tables of the enterprise with the export of goods. Figure 2. Chart of links between tables. The next step is to export data from tables on the corresponding sheets for their processing. Figure 3. An example of the original form of the table with the data on the work of the enterprise. After the data from the tables on export of goods by enterprises on the corresponding sheets is exported for processing. Figure 4. Example of the original form of the table with the data on the export of the enterprise. The next step will be to calculate the indicators of computing in the competition for a given range. A diagram of the relationship between components is shown, which highlights the three components that affect the value of the competitiveness object. Each of these components represents the component of the instance level that implements individual objects. Figure 5. Diagram of component ratio. Indicators for calculating competitiveness. The competitiveness column is created and calculated according to the given formula. Further, an OLAP-cube is constructed to compare production volumes between enterprises over a certain period of time. This is a composite table that will contain two dimensions: time, as the study priorities are certain intervals, and the measurement of the products of production and their respective enterprises. At crossroads will be displayed the sum of the number of manufactured goods. Conditional formatting shows enterprises with the largest volume of production by product category. A timeline is also added according to the date table to display the data of the required intervals. Figure 6. Summary table. Work of enterprises. For a better visual perception, a composite diagram is constructed. Figure 7. Combined diagram. Work of enterprises. Results. The final version of the experiment is the construction of OLAP, a cube for comparing the competitiveness of enterprises over a certain period of time. There is a composite table that will contain two dimensions: time, as the study priority is at certain intervals, and the measurement of the products of production and their respective enterprises. At crossroads, the value of the competitiveness will be displayed, and the value of the totals will reflect the average competitiveness. Conditional formatting shows the most competitive companies in their industry are the most competitive enterprise among all enterprises. A timeline is also added to the date table to display the data at the required intervals. Figure 8. Summary diagram. Competitiveness. For a better visual perception, a composite diagram is constructed. Figure 9. Combined diagram. Competitive capacity. Discussion. The given research has shown that the leader exporter in Ukraine in the field of production of butter from the enterprises of our choice is PP Alma-Vita for the production of honey in Ukrainian Honey Company in the sugar industry OJSC Radechiev sugar plant. This calculation of the levels of competitiveness accumulates all the important assessments in the enterprise, avoids the duplication of indicators, provides an opportunity to quickly find out the state of the enterprise in the sectoral market. The method used is convenient for use for researchers about the competitiveness of the enterprise, covers all the main activities of such organization. Also, this experiment shows us that sugar is the most competitive among the selected export goods, and OJSC Radechiev sugar refinery is the largest exporter. Conclusion. Today, the basis of increasing competitiveness is the use of a systematic approach that allows us to use a full set of strategic capabilities to prioritize the development of certain departments of the enterprise in accordance with the goals set. With the help of the developed OLAP-cube, you can easily compare the competitiveness of different enterprises from different industries and determine the best in a particular industry under certain conditions.